So, welcome to English Book Club again. Now, haha, yeah, well done, everybody. We got you here eventually, a little bit later than usual, but I expected that because the time has changed and the venue has changed, as you can see. Shiny, you said, did you find this place by yourself, Eleanor? No, she got a teleport, Shiny. Nobody can find this place without me giving them the link. Okay, it's not like the ESL group, the Academy, where we normally meet up. It's a closed planet, if you like, a closed world. Okay, so only people with the link can find it. But I thought it was quite a nice one because it's got that sort of, well, there's a castle, a sand castle, admittedly, and we've got this area where we can do the actual reading. Eleanor is clever enough to do that. Absolutely, she is. Now, who can remember what book? Because last week we read some short stories, but who can remember what book we said we were going to start reading? I think April can remember because of something she said earlier. Oh, again, April, that was breaking up a little bit.
Oh,
That's it.
is my microphone work?
It's working now, yes.
Okay, The Little Prince.
That's
but
it.
it's not. Is it here? Are we in the moon?
Well, not yet. Give me time. I have a plan, but these plans always take time. So yeah, the book, our new book, is actually not an English book, but we're going to read it in English. Does anybody know who wrote it?
Saint-Exupéry.
Yeah.
Oui. Antoine Saint-Exupéry.
Would you agree with that, Eleanor? I mean, I've no idea. I don't speak French, so.
Of course, I could not agree, not disagree. Sorry.
Hang on, I couldn't not agree.
No, I wanted to say the opposite.
Okay. So, not strictly speaking an English book, but then this isn't the first time we've read a book written by someone who's not English.
Gilles French.
Exactly. We did
Gilles
Jules Verne,
Verne,
yeah, Jules,
yeah.
or as we call him in England, Jules Verne.
Yes, it's always
in Ireland.
different.
And then,
So fast.
but we also read The Call of the Wild, which was written by Jack London, American. We've read a couple of books written by Americans, so because we did The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn as well. So it's not the first time we've gone away from English authors. When I say the English Book Reading Club, it doesn't mean we're only going to read English authors. It just means we're going to read something in English. Okay? American is English. Oh, Vinay's crashed. Oh dear. Okay. But does anybody know the significance of the plant in the centre here for us all?
Yes, because the little prince had his beloved rose. It's a very important thread in this story.
Exactly,
He
yes.
cared for flower very much.
Yeah, and he loves the rose to get oxygen. Yeah, Ali, that's a good idea. Maybe that's what the rose's real function in the book is. They are for you, April. I'm sure you've got them already, but if you haven't, I can send you them.
Yeah, but you couldn't find it in Discuss. That's why. Oh, Discord.
Discord. No. Well, at least these are alive and not wilting. I did find one in Discord, but it was dying. But then roses do die, don't they? Now, who hasn't heard of The Little Prince? Ah, who is the little prince? And Moz as well. Okay. Well, again, it's a story written for children, but it is suitable for adults to read, especially if you've never read it. And it's really extremely famous. I mean, really famous. So if you'd like to download a copy, it is out of copyright. Yeah, I know, me too, April. Had a great effect on me um, as a child reading it. So you need the English copy, of course. Le Petit Prince would probably not be the best example to read. Okay, the version I am going to use is the PDF version when I can find it. I've lost it. Ah, there it is. Okay, the PDF version. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to. Okay, and the lovely thing about this particular version is it's like a book. Okay, try this one. Okay, which will give you a little brief insight into it. Okay. Oh, hang on, I'm just trying to find my actual copy. Sorry, I did download it earlier and now I've lost it. Okay,
I would prefer HTML.
yes, it's a dedication page. Sorry, I have got the link somewhere. I found it last time and I've lost it, so bear with me a second. It's always the same, isn't it?
It was not easy to find.
No, I
they
know, and
can't be
that's
downloaded.
that's why I looked for it on. That's why I looked for it in advance, but now I've lost it.
Yeah, me too. But I've got one with the Kindle format, and I don't know if I can share it.
No, probably not, but I've got one here. Okay, you can download it from here. Eventually. If anybody has problems downloading it, I can cut and paste as usual, okay? So don't worry. Because it is free. Oh, okay. Vinay's lost us again. Hang on. There you go. There you go, Vinay. Let's get him back.
I have found the HTML. Is it the same version?
Probably. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ah, yes, that's the one I had. Thank you. But that's in French.
Is this the French? Dédicace. Oh, pardon. Me...
That's quite funny. But yes, that's the site I found it on, but not the French version. You'll have to do your own version of the Little Prince if you want.
You know, I am searching for this version because I copy words and it's simply more comfortable for
Okay, I've
me
got you.
than yeah.
Okay, but anyway, we've if you've got the link I gave you from joannash.co, then you can actually download that as a PDF. Okay, so just click Save As,
Yeah.
and then you can load it into your computer or into whichever folder you want it to, or you can just access it online. That's fine as well. Is Vinay with us? I think Vinay's got connection problems sadly today.
Yeah.
It's a long book, yes. Okay, so once everybody's got a version of it, preferably in English. Vinay's offline again. Okay. Yeah, that original one, it's lovely because it's got a lot of the images, the papermine.com one, and it also gives you a little brief summary of what happens in each chapter. Now, I don't like condensed books, I'll be honest, but sometimes having the condensed version or having the summary is quite useful as English learners. So if you can find something like Spark Notes, Craig Notes, or just summarised versions of books, do have a look, but try to read the full book too. Just use it as an aid for understanding, okay? So Vinay's back, oh gosh. Okay, the teleport link is disabled. Let me see if I can offer teleport. Vinay's having problems, so let's see if we can help him out. Yay, well done. Welcome back, Vinay. Okay, so the book, if we just read a little bit about the book itself and the author, okay? Eleanor, you were definitely the first person who spoke to me this morning.
Oh yeah.
Because you were half an hour early.
Yes, it was.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, if to spot
anything to get your first spot on the anything to get your first spot on the website. Sorry, in the book reading list. So Eleanor was definitely first, then Shiny, then April, then Moz, then Ali, and then Vinay. I'm hoping Vinay will be able to stay long enough. But anyway, we'll start with that first page, okay? Eleanor, if you'd like to read the introduction.
first chapter?
No, the introduction, okay? I've given the text here. I've given you the text here as well, okay?
That's better. Saint-Exupéry, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, 1944. An adventurous pilot and lyrical poet, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry conveyed in his books the solitude and mystic grandeur of the early days of flight. He described dangerous adventures in the skies and also wrote the whimsical children's fable The Little Prince. Antoine-Marie Roger de Saint-Exupéry was born on the 29th of June 19 in Lyon, France. In the 1920s, he helped establish airmail routes overseas. During World War II, he flew as a military reconnaissance pilot. After the Germans occupied France in 1940, he escaped to the United States. He rejoined the Air Force in North Africa in 1943. During what was to have been his final reconnaissance mission over the Mediterranean Sea, he died when his plane was shot down on the 31st of July 1944. Saint-Exupéry's first book, Southern Mail, was about the life and death of an airmail pilot. It was published in French in 1929. Other books include Night Flight, 1931, about the first airline pilots, and Wind, Sand, in which he describes his feelings during flights over the desert. The Little Prince, 1943, which in a way is really a children's book for grown-ups, was written during Saint-Exupéry's stay in the United States. A gentle and thoughtful book, it tells the story of a boy who lives alone on a tiny planet. It's April, a final volume of reflections which provides an insight into the author's views on the meaning of life. It's The Wisdom of the Suns, 1948. This book was published after the pilot's death.
Sorry, yeah, I just
From the
muted.
book?
Oh, you've got it. You got me.
From the-
Good. Yeah, from the book. It says to. If you could start reading from To Leon Worth.
Chapter 1, eh? Oh no.
Nope. First
Leon Worth.
page. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is chapter 1. It is chapter 1. Once when I was 6 years, that is chapter 1.
Nope.
The first chapter.
No, this bit here. It's the dedication. What we call the dedication. Okay.
There.
I've put it in. I've put it into. It might not be in your version, so I've put it into chat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Dedication to Leon Worth, I ask the indulgence of the children who may read this book for dedicating it to a grown-up. I have a serious reason. He is the best friend I have in the world. I have another reason. This grown-up understands everything, even books about children. I have a third reason. He lives in France, where he is hungry and cold. He needs cheering up. If all these reasons are not enough, I will dedicate the book to the child from whom this grown-up grew. All grown-ups were once children, although few of them remember it, and so I correct my dedication to Leon Wolf when he was a little boy.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nicely read. Now, sorry, I was a little distracted then because I've got Jessie trying desperately to get into the call and get into Kitely, but not actually logged in. I'm not sure what's going on there. So let's just give Poetry Elinor her corrections. April, that was perfectly read. Well done. So Elinor, when you see that date, okay, often you'll see this on people's biographies, and it means from 1900 to 1944.
Yeah, 1900. Yeah. I
so
have.
not 1900.
Yeah, I remember.
So try it.
1900, 1944.
1900 to that little
To
dash is
1944.
That's it.
Yeah. In which he describes it was something.
Yes.
I got confused.
Yeah, it's the commas there to help you. So, Wind, Sand and Stars, 1939, in which he describes his feelings during flights over the desert. Okay, and again, the desert features heavily in The Little Prince as well, which we will discover. Okay, so that's the introduction. Let's start the actual book. Elinor, if you could start reading chapter 1. If you read the first page, please.
Okay. I have to click on chapter 1. Yeah, my mic isn't muted. Okay. Chapter 1. We are introduced to the narrator, a pilot, and his ideas about grown-ups. Once, when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature about the primeval forest. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing on an animal. Here is a copy of the drawing. In the book it said, boa constrictors swallow the prey whole without chewing it. After that they are not able to move, and they sleep through the 6 months that they need for digestion. I pondered deeply then over the adventures of the jungle, and after some work with a colored pencil I succeeded in making my first drawing. My drawing number 1, it looked like this. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them. But they answered, frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat? My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that the grown-ups could see it clearly. They always need to have things explained. My drawing number 2 looked like this. The end of the page.
Very good. Now I hope you've got the version with the drawings, because it's very true. The first drawing looks like a brown felt hat, And the second drawing shows the inside where the boa constrictor has. I don't know if any boa constrictors ever swallowed an elephant, not even a baby. Looked like a snail, yeah. Well, you can use your imagination, can't you? But once it's explained, then that's what you see. When you see that first picture, you know, oh yeah, there's the elephant, the shape of the elephant, and there's the snake. Very good, well done. Nicely read. Just the one, just 2 words, okay. So, first one is primeval.
Yeah, I know. Primeval, yeah, I would have to check it.
Yeah, primeval forest. Very old forest. Pre-civilization is what it's a primeval forest is. There's not many left, but there is a primeval forest in Poland, I believe.
Yes, and there is a big affair concerning it in Białowieża because
they want to,
yeah.
That's it. They want to basically exploit it, I guess is the way you'd say it. Is that, how do you say that then again, Eleanor?
Białowieża, or
Białowieża.
Puszcza Białowieska.
Aha. Okay, beautiful, but untouched, what we sometimes call virgin forest as well.
Exactly, but the problem is that they are really woodworms there, and the explication is that they want to for the trees being eaten by this parasites, but I don't think it's okay.
No,
but it's
sounds like an excuse to me for logging, but there you go. Anyway, let's not go into that today. We can do one on wood and forests another time, I think, a session. The other word is one of your favourite words, but it's
swallow.
Swallow, yes, swallow.
What did I say?
It came out very strangely. The old bit wasn't in there, so I thought, okay, that didn't sound quite right. I'll have to get her to say that again. Okay, so April, if you could read page 2, please, up to. I'm not sure if you've got the same text as me, so if you could read up to, and the grown-up would be greatly pleased. Okay.
Oh, in your link is up to have met such a sensible man. Is that it?
Yep, that's the one.
That's the oh, okay. That's the end of the chapter 1, actually. The grown-ups' response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors, whether from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I had been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. So then I chose another profession and learned to pilot airplanes. I have flown a little over all parts of the world, and it is true that geography has been very useful to me. At a glance, I can distinguish China from Arizona. If one gets lost in the night, such knowledge is valuable. In the course of this life, I have had a great many encounters with a great many people who have been concerned with matters of consequence. I have lived a great deal among grown-ups. I have seen them intimately, close at hand, and that hasn't much improved my opinion of them. Whenever I met one of them who seemed to me at all clear-sighted, I tried the experiment of showing him my drawing number 1, which I have always kept. I would try to find out if this was a person of true understanding. But whoever it was, he or she would always say, "That is a hat." Then I would never talk to that person about boa constrictors or primeval forests or stars. I would bring myself down to his level. I would talk to him about bridge and golf and politics and neckties, and the grown-up would be greatly pleased to have met such a sensible man. I would say that is a snail. What he would think
I
of me.
don't know. That would have been fun, wouldn't it? What would he have thought of you saying it's a snail? He would have probably been delighted. Very good. Very nicely read. Well done. Couple of little words and a smiley. Let's look at the words first. So, the first word, outside. The opposite to inside is outside.
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 No? Outside. I
Yeah,
heard upside. Outside.
Outside, yes. Okay, good. Sorry, I've got Jessie again, and it's very difficult to get people into these things when they're not actually in the world with me, and I'm not in the same world as them. So bear with me a second. Okay, I've added to her as a friend, and I'll have to then try to add her into the group. Oh gosh. Okay, this might be easier now. Invite to group, alien members, okay. There you go. Sorry, April. Okay, once that's happened, then I can send her a invitation to we'll wait. We'll know in a minute, Jessie. We will know in a minute. Okay, so next word is magnificent.
Magnificent. Magnificent.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. Magnificent. No?
That's it. Yeah, magnificent. Very good. Well done. And then Arizona. Well done, because you corrected yourself. Arizona.
Yeah. First, I put the wrong stress in it.
Yes. But you corrected yourself. That's absolutely perfect. Don't forget, guys, you can always correct yourself. If you think, oh, that doesn't sound right, trust your feeling, go back, read it again. You might get a smiley. And then the last bit is just, again, it's about intonation. Okay, so it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. Not to them, but to them. To explain things to people. To explain things to them. Let me explain it to you. Not let me explain it to you. Because to them would mean those particular people, and he's talking about people in general. So it's always difficult to explain things to them. Okay? Do you want to try it?
It is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them.
Very good. Well done. Stress on a particular word can really change the meaning of a sentence and what people understand by that sentence. Okay? Very good. Okay, so, Shiny, it is your turn. Would you like to read the next page? Which is the beginning of chapter 2.
Yes. Chapter 2. The narrator crashes in the desert and makes the acquaintance of the little prince. So I lived my life alone, without anyone that I could really talk to, until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara. 6 years ago, something was broken in my engine, and as I had with my neither a mechanic nor any passengers, I set myself to attempt the difficult repairs all alone. It was a question of life or death for me. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. The first night then I went to sleep on the sand, 1,000 miles from any human habitation. I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sailor on a rock in the middle of the ocean. Thus, you can imagine my amazement at sunrise when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said, if you please, draw me a sheep. What? Draw me a sheep. I jumped to my feet, completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully all around me, and I saw a most extraordinary small person who stood there examining me with great seriousness. Here, you may see the best portrait that later I was able to make of him, but my drawing is certainly very much less charming than its model.
Very good, well done. Nicely read. Okay, so. Okay, yes, sorry, Jessie, we're on page 6 in the link I gave you, okay, which is chapter 2, page 6. It always depends on what version you're reading from, though. That's the problem. Okay, very nicely read. Well done, Shiny. Before I give you your corrections, let me just, change the sun settings for this world. Oh, that's better. It's getting darker and darker. And then just answer Ali's question, which was the difference between tire and tiresome. Okay, tire means to get tired, to tire. Okay, you can be tired, you can tire somebody out by playing. Children are very tiring, okay, and they make you feel tired. Okay, so they tire you, they make you feel tired. Tiresome means you're annoyed by somebody, you find them annoying. They might make you feel tired as well, but generally it's about them being oh, he's so tiresome, he never shuts up. Or learning English is tiresome. It's so frustrating. Ooh, Jessie, I've had my coffee, thank you. I've got an empty cup here. I better not have a second one. Okay, so Shiny, your text. Okay, the first word, narrator. The narrator.
Narrator.
Not narrator, narrator.
Narrator.
Yeah, you're saying retta, like ray. Try ray. I know you don't like the long A sound, but narrator.
Narrator.
That's better, yes. Honestly, if you listen to the recording, as long as it works, then you will hear the difference. Okay, so you've got to get that long A sound. Narrator. Okay?
Narrator.
Good. Then the next word is, two words together, but shipwrecked. If you're shipwrecked, okay, he's in a plane, but it means you are lost, you have no way of getting home, you're shipwrecked. Try it. Ooh, again?
Shipwrecked.
That's it. Silent E, not wrecked, just shipwrecked. Good. And the last one, again, this long A sound. Ooh, great.
Great.
Yay! Awesome. Well done. Well done. That was great. Now, this next one, it's a little bit of an awkward, yeah, it's an awkward series of words to put, it's an awkward phrase to try to say, because it's like an aside. Often when an author writes an aside, it's not part of the main script, it's just added information. So, and as I had with me neither a mechanic nor any passengers, okay? So you stress neither and nor. Try it. Ooh, 222. Can anybody else hear Shiny? Okay, connection.
And as I had with me, thank you. And as I had with me, neither a mechanic nor any passengers.
Very good. I'm not going to correct neither because you can say either, neither, or neither. It doesn't matter. It's one of those ones where you can say whatever you want. Neither or neither. Okay, Sarah's trying to join us. I'll just send her a teleport. Okay. Okay, any questions before we move on? Moz, you're... Oh, is Moz still with us?
Yes.
Yeah, there you are.
Can you hear?
Sorry. There are two of you. Vinay and Moz look very similar. They're twins today.
Can you hear me, Lynn, clearly?
Yay. Perfectly, yes. Nice and clear. So the next
because
page...
I'm not used to it. Okay, Lynn.
And if you've got the... Sorry, if you have the illustrated version of the book, you'll see a very dapper little prince, and he's really famous. That portrait is extremely famous. Okay, Buzz.
Okay, okay. That, however, is not my fault. The grown-ups discouraged me in my painter's career when I was 6 years old, and I never learned to draw anything except boas from the outside and boas from the inside. Now I stared at this sudden apparition with my eyes fairly starting out of my head in astonishment. Remember, I had crashed in the desert 1,000 miles from an inhabited region, and yet my little man seemed neither to be straying uncertainly among the sands, nor to be fainting from fatigue or hunger or thirst or fear. Nothing about him gave any suggestion of a child lost in the middle of the desert, 1,000 miles from any human habitation. When at last I was able to speak, I said to him, "But what are you doing here?" And in answer he repeated, very slowly, as if he were speaking of a matter of great consequence, "If you please, draw me a ship." When a mystery is too overpowering, no one dare not disobey, absurd as it might seem to me. 1,000 miles from any human habitation, and in danger of death, I took out of my pocket a sheet of paper and my fountain pen. But then I remembered how my studies had been concentrated on geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar, and I told the little chap, a little crossly too, that I did not know how to draw. He answered me, "That doesn't matter. drawn a sheep.
Very
But
good.
I have never drawn
Stop, that's it. Well done. Welcome back, Ali. I know, connection's always an issue. Welcome, Sarah. Well done, you made it. Yes, don't forget, if you want to join us, you have to be a member of the LEN group. So if you're not a member of the LEN group, you won't get in here. This is a closed sim. The other sim is open. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get people in. You have to be in my contacts and a member of the group. Okay, that way you get notifications and you can come into places like this where non-members can't. Okay, so nicely read, Moz. Okay, couple of little words for you. So the first one is stared. Starred has a double R. Starred, starring, so like a film starring, but stared is from to stare.
Stared. Oh, which one?
Stare.
Starred? Stared, oh.
Stare
Okay.
sounds like stare, like the stairs in steps, yeah? It's the same pronunciation.
Similar words, I thought that same pronunciation.
Yeah, to stare, a stare. The hard Paddington stare.
How many upstairs?
That's it. Okay, and the next one is an apparition.
What is it?
Apparition.
Apparition.
An apparition is something that's not actually there. You see it, but it's not there. So maybe a ghost could be described, back to Halloween, as an apparition, or just the shape of a person that's not. You just see something, but it's not actually there.
Okay.
Okay.
Apparition. Okay.
Apparition. Yeah. And then the next one, you got habitation, but you said human, and it's human. It's aspirated with an H. Human habitation. Try it.
Okay. Human habitation.
Human.
Human habitation.
Human. You've got to get that H. Human.
Human. Human habitation.
Perfect. You don't have to so much, but it's good to just get used to human. Well, I'm only human after all. There's one for karaoke tonight. Then geography, slightly different stress, not geography, geography.
Geography.
Geography. The stress is on geo, yeah?
Okay, thank you. I never thought about this.
So if you
Sometimes I'm
notice here,
confused with the...
geography.
Geography. Geography.
Sometimes I'm always confused with the same. It's almost similar words, the same sound or same pronunciation.
Yes, I know. Don't worry. People would understand what you said. You're just here to practice some different ways of saying it. So try it. Geography.
It's just geography.
That's better. You're getting there. It's not a terrible one though, because it can't be misunderstood. People would understand what you said. They'd just be a bit surprised at how you say it. That's all. Okay. So who's next? Ali, it is your turn.
Thank you so much. Finally, it's my turn.
Yay! I know.
After a long wait, right? So we are on. Like I have to read from page 8, right?
We're on page 8. If you could read that page, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But I had never drawn a sheep, so I drew from him one of the two pictures I had drawn so often. It was that of the boa constrictor from the outside, and I was astounded to hear the little fellow greet it with, No, no, no. I do not want an elephant inside a boa constructor. A boa constructor is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is very small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep. So then I made a drawing. He looked at it carefully, then he said, "No, this sheep is already very sickly. Make me another." So I made another drawing. My friend smiled gently and indulgently. "You see yourself," he said, "that this is not a sheep. This is a ram. It has horns." So then I did my drawing over once more. But it was rejected too, just like the others.
Very good. Well
Do I have to
done.
continue?
Okay. Yes, Jessie, what we do is at the beginning of the session, we start a reading list, and then we go through, and each person can read as long as we have time. Okay, so so far we're up to Ali, and then we've got Vinay, and then if we have time, you, and then if we have time, Sarah. Okay, so do try to be here on time if you want to read at a particular time early on. The earlier you are, first person to speak, first person to type hello to me, that's the first person on the reading list. Okay, it's the fairest way of doing it. So Ali, very nicely read. Got a little bit of a problem with this one. Boa constrictor. Boa. It's the name of the snake.
Boa constrictor.
That's it. You said it correctly
Boa.
a couple of times, and then
Yes, actually, I didn't know what it is, so
ah, oh,
So,
you needed to be
well,
here
that
for
was-
the exotic pets session last Friday. It's a snake. It's a very
Okay.
large snake from the Amazon, and it swallows its prey whole. Okay.
Okay, I was just, when someone of the group was reading, boa constrictor, swallow elephant, right? So I was just wondering, what the hell, who is this that could swallow a man, swallow an elephant?
Well, I doubt
So
it's
you-
ever happened, but they can grow very large.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just find it. The world's largest boa constrictor. The largest on record. Let me have a look. See if we can find one. $25 long. 7.67 meters.
Okay, 25 feet.
Yeah, 25
Too
feet,
long.
2 inches long, 7.67 meters.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're pretty big. And if you want to see one, you normally have to go to a zoo. Okay.
They're gonna swallow me, I don't wanna go at all.
I've actually,
No.
I have petted one. It came to our school, and they drape it round your neck, and they're beautiful. As long as they're not hungry, you're fine. And they only eat once every 6 months or so. So it takes them
Once
a
in
long
36
time-
months.
Once every, yeah, it takes you a long time to digest.
So that's nice. Before meeting boa constructor, we should make something available for them, right?
Exactly. I'll send you an image. You'll have to excuse the writing on it, but it gives you an idea of just how large it really is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
They are magnificent.
So-
Okay, so the next one, and it was actually there's a mistype a typo in the text. It's indulgently. The last L was missing, but to indulge somebody, to treat them
Yes.
indulgently. Try it.
To include someone, right?
No, it's if you indulge somebody, you allow them to do things you might not allow other people to do.
Okay.
Okay. If you indulge, you allow yourself to do something that's pleasurable to you. So I'll indulge myself in some chocolate later. But if you indulge someone else, you allow them to do what they want. Basically.
Okay.
Don't indulge children
Giving
too
them
much.
permission or allowing them.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Jessie. Yes. To be just, you just allow some people get away with anything. You just allow them to do things you wouldn't allow other people to. You indulge them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You did indeed, Jessie. But you were very generous. You offered everybody coffee, which was very nice. Okay, so the next person to read, let me just check, is Vinay. Vinay, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Start when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. So, from this one.
Yep, this one is too old.
Okay. This one is too old. I want a ship that will live a long time. By this time, my patient was exhausted because I was in a hurry to start taking my engine apart. So I tossed off the zone. The narrator learns more about from where the little prince came. It took me a long time to learn where he came from. The little prince, who asked me so many questions, never seemed to hear the ones I asked him.
Oh,
It was from
stop.
words.
You seem to be missing quite a bit of the text. There should be a drawing of a box, and then it should start with, and I threw out an explanation with it.
After box it is chapter 3.
Oh, okay, let me give you the text, because your version is slightly different to mine. So if you could read what I've just typed up from, and I threw out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I threw out an explanation with it. This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside. I was very surprised to see a light break over the face of my young judge. That is exactly the way I wanted it. Do you think that this sheep will have to have a great deal of grass? Why? Because where I live, everything is very small. There will surely be enough grass for him. I see it is a very small seed that I have given you. He bent his head over the drawing, not so small that. Look, he has gone to sleep, and that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince.
Very good. To make the acquaintance of somebody, to meet them. Pleased to make your acquaintance is something people used to say for instead of pleased to meet you. You might still hear it if somebody went to Oxbridge. They might still speak that way. So pleased to make your acquaintance. Pleased to meet you. Okay, so very nicely read, Vinay. 2 words. Okay, first one, patience. So to be patient, but to have patience. So long's at the end. Try it.
Patience.
That's it, yeah. If you say patient, if you don't get that at the end, people won't know whether you meant patient, which could be somebody in a hospital, or patient as in be patient now, but to have patience, to be a patient person. Okay? And then the other one is said. To say, yes, that's the infinitive, to say. What did you just say? But the past is said, and it's just like saying it with an E. Said. Try it.
Said.
That's it. So you might say, what did you just say? Or, I didn't hear what you said. Okay? So it's important to get that eh sound in the middle. Jessie, I understand most American speakers, British speakers don't usually have that much trouble because we get a lot of American TV shows and films. But of course there are some accents that, even British accents, that I struggle with. If they're very, very strong accents, then yes. But it's nothing to do with being American. It's purely to do with your accent. Okay? And generally it's about tuning your ear in. Just tuning in to what people are saying and how they say it. And your brain does the rest of the work. So, any questions about the text? If everybody's got time, then Jessie, if you would like to carry on reading. The first page of chapter 3, which is page 10, okay? Okay, you need to click on the speak button. There should be a little microphone. Ah, you have got a white dot, so it should work. We seem to have Jessie and Sarah. Oh, you're oh my goodness, you're embedded in inside each other. That's like something out of Halloween. You'll have to look at the stream to understand that. Okay, make sure you've either got the little button ticked in the top right corner, and then you can click the voice on and off, or keep the microphone clicked. The mic is clicked, okay. Which viewer are you using, Jessie? Firestorm? What did you download? Sorry, what did you download? Is it Firestorm? Oh, you don't know. It should say in the top left. It'll say something like Firestorm, release, blah blah. Okay. Then again, this is something, it's a little bit like the first time you come into Discord. It's about setting up your connection properly. Okay, so what you'll need to do, we've got a group in the forum called Virtual Worlders, and there's a special section, this is how often we have to do it, called Voice Issues. Okay, so go to the first post there, and you can go through the checklist of configuring your sound settings. Okay, Sarah, if we move to you whilst Jessie checks. I mean, you have got a white dot, Jessie, above your head, which means your microphone is working, but you might have to set your settings so the system knows which microphone you're using. Again, my recommendation is use a headset. Okay. Sarah, can you hear me? Can I hear you? Yay!
Yes.
Okay. Sarah, you won't believe where you're sitting. You're embedded inside Jessie. And you're both wearing the same clothes, so you look like some kind of very strange twin. Oh my goodness. So Sarah, would you like to read the next page?
Yes, but I don't have the pages you read from.
Okay,
I
I'll
asked.
type it up for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
It
I haven't
took me
finished.
a
No,
long
don't
time.
start yet. Don't start yet. That's not all.
Okay.
You don't get away that easily. Oh gosh me. Oh gosh, look, it's see, even I have problems with this stuff. Okay, so the second it took me a long time from there. Okay.
Um, from it took me a long time to learn where he came from. The little prince who asked me so many questions never seemed to hear the ones I asked him. It was from words dropped by chance that that little by little everything was revealed to me. The first time he saw my airplane, for instance, I shall not draw my airplane. That would be much too complicated for me. He asked me, "What is that object?" That is not an object. It flies. It is an airplane. It is my airplane. And I was proud to have him learn that I could fly. He cried out then, "What, you dropped down from the sky?" "Yes," I answered modestly. "Oh, that is funny." And the little prince broken into a lovely where is it? Into a lovely peal of laughter, or which irritated me very much. I like my Miss Fountains to be taken seriously. Then he added, "So you too come from the sky. Which is your plant?" At the moment I caught a gleam of light in the mm, impenetrable mystery of his presence, and I demanded abru- abruptly, "Do you come from another planet?" But he did not reply. He tossed his head gently, without taking his eyes from my plan. "It is true, that one that you cannot have come from very far away."
Very good. Well done. Okay, so nicely read, and as you can see, yes, this is a book written for children, but that's why it said it's a book written for children and adults. Okay, let's have a look. We'll do the individual words first. Okay, and then we will look at a little phrase as well. So, bear with me whilst I do my little bits of cutting and pasting. Okay, we'll start with at that moment.
At that moment.
Yes, at that moment, not at the moment, totally different. At the moment, I'm reading with you. Yesterday, the phone rang, and at that moment, I was doing something else. Okay, so at that moment is in the past, at the moment means now. So you need to make it clear that it's at that moment. Okay? Then impenetrable. Impenetrable.
Impenetrable.
Yes. To penetrate something, to get into something. But impenetrable means you can't get in. Impenetrable fortress. Okay? Prisons should be impenetrable. Impossible to enter or leave unless you go through the door. Okay? Some people can be impenetrable in that you can't understand a thing they say. Then
It's also be as characters.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And then to demand, past is demanded. I demanded my coffee from Jessie. Try it.
Demand.
And the past demanded. Or demanded.
Demanded.
Yeah, demanded is demand, it's like glass, it's fine. But demanded is the past. It's a regular verb. Then abrupt, to be abrupt, or to do something abruptly.
Abruptly.
That's it. So very quickly and without waiting, without pausing. Yes. To do something.
Okay.
Yeah. He knocked on the door abruptly, a bit impatiently as well. Okay. Then to reply. I speak, you reply. Try it.
Reply.
That's it. And then plain, not plan. That E modifies the A. So you got plan. I have a cunning
Okay.
plan.
Yeah.
But plain.
Plain.
That's it. Then came, past of to come. To come to my house, have a coffee. Zom came to my house last year. Came. Okay, try it.
Came.
Yeah. Then prince. This is going to be great for you because you've got a definite problem with the P. It's not Brince, it's you and lots of other people from your part of the world, don't worry. So prince.
Prince.
That's it. Good.
Okay.
Then,
Finally.
and then to laugh, the sound of laughter. Laughter.
Laughter.
That's it. And again, laugh, doesn't matter. It depends where you come from. I say laughter, you can say laughter. It doesn't matter. Then misfortunes. I hope you have no misfortunes in your life.
No, I don't know her.
So, misfortunes is bad luck.
Misfortune.
Yeah, bad luck. So, misfortunes.
Misfortunes.
That's it. It sounds like somebody's name, doesn't it? What's your name? I'm Misfortune. I'd run away if I met somebody called Misfortune. And then the last one, there's an E. So you have a plant. There's a plant in the middle. You're actually facing the wrong way, but there's a plant in the middle of our conversation here, of our reading circle. We have a plant. It's a bush, a rose bush. But this isn't plant, it's planet. What planet are you on? So, planet.
Planet.
That's it, yeah.
Planet.
That's it. Very good. Well done.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. Then, just one thing. This is about intonation. Okay, so here we've got what the pilot, or the narrator, says to the little prince. The first one's got an exclamation mark, so you need to sound surprised. What? And then the next one's got a question mark, but you still need to sound surprised. Sorry, the little prince says it to the narrator. So he goes, what? You dropped from the sky? Okay, so try a little bit of intonation there. Try it.
What? You drop from the sky?
That's it. Yeah, well done. Okay, that's where when you're reading, the punctuation's really important. It tells you when the character's surprised. It tells you when they don't understand something. It tells you how the character speaks and how they intonate the different parts. Okay, so we will stop there for now. Jessie, I've got a few moments if you want to try and get your mic working for
Hello.
next time.
Hello. Hello.
Ah, there you are! Yay!
Oh my God! Do you hear me?
I can hear you. Now, if you look at your character in your viewer, you should see green wavy lines above the head. Okay, that means your voice is working. Okay, it's a little bit like the green circle in Discord.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
the green wavy lines tell you, okay, my voice is working, and if other people can't hear me, it's their problem. Yay!
Oh, okay. I see. Now I understand. I managed it.
You get a 111.
It was very hard.
I know. It takes time to get these things working. Once you've figured your way around the program and the settings, it gets easier. Okay. But these initial, especially when you join a session and it's your first time in World with a group, it can be very frustrating, I realise. Okay, sadly I don't actually have time to do a whole reading and correction, but next time you now know. So we'll put you down as attending but no voice. And now also, because you're new, what you can do, Jessie, if you join and, for example, you've got to go to work, or if you've got to, I don't know, go and have a cup of coffee. No, if you've got to do something important, shall we say, you can ask the group if you can read earlier. Okay. It's up to the group to say yes, but normally they're okay. If somebody else has got to go early, then they will say, oh, but eventually we might be able to slot you in a bit earlier. It's always difficult if you're at the end. However, that said, if you have the time, do try to stay for the whole session to listen to the others, because listening to different accents, different ways of pronouncing, and the corrections can of course help you as well. Okay, but it's up to you.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I'll try to stay.
What? No, Ali's saying no.
So are you going to finish this session, or?
Yes, I'll have to finish now, I'm afraid. So, but I'm still not sure why Ali's saying no.
No. I'm not saying. I just prayed that, I mean, we cannot allow anyone, right, to read it. It was just, I mean, I was kidding. I didn't mean that.
Okay, so I was wondering, what no? Why no? What have I said?
Yes, actually, you read lately, so that's why the context was not there.
Ah, okay. So that's great. Well done anyway for getting the mic to work. And as I say, now it's working. Next time we'll be able to add you to the reading list and get through it. But yeah, it's coming up to past now, so we've been here for an hour and a half, which is what I also mentioned about the session times in the calendar. We start at that time, we finish-ish. But you can always come and go as you wish in these sessions. That's fine. Okay. Always
okay,
ish.
actually there are also two events coming today.
Yes.
So at 6 p.m. and 8:30, so I can still join them.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. There's always a couple of things each day now, which is really cool. So yeah, just check what platform they're on. And don't forget, if there's another event, there is another event called Karaoke, which isn't on the calendar. That will be in Discord. And if you come, you're going to have to sing. Okay, so take care, everybody. Hope to see you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'd
Goodbye.
just like to say, Zom's going to be watching this, I'm sure. Zom, good luck with the move. I hope it goes well. Don't break anything. Bye, Mars. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.